Hi everybody, it's Madison. So today I'm going to do a story time video about how my boyfriend was possessed. Now you guys can take this for what it is. I do know that me in that situation, it's probably one of the scariest situations that I've ever been in. Looking back on it, maybe he was faking it. But to me, still, it is highly unlikely. It just does not sound like something he could be able to fake. So we're just gonna get right on into the story. So I was 15 years old, I want to say. I was a sophomore in high school, and my friend introduced me to this guy. We will call him Greg. So me and Greg had been going out for a while, and Valentine's Day was coming up. Greg was a strange one, but he's very, very nice, but very strange. He would always talk about paranormal things. Now, when I was growing up, I never really thought about the paranormal. I really didn't think it was real. I just kind of thought it was some make-believe, made up thing. But after this situation, I could never doubt it again. So when me and him first started dating, totally not a believer at all. Not a believer at all. But as we started dating, weird things were happening that had never happened before. If you guys want me to go more in detail in that, I can just leave it in the comments below and I'll do a separate video. But this specific event, it was Valentine's Day. I don't know if I said that or not, but it was Valentine's Day. And I am going over to Greg's house. Greg's mom picks us up. And once we get back to her house, she fell asleep. Sorry guys, I've been having this cold for a week straight. So she went back to sleep in the room and goes to sleep while me and Greg begin to hang out. Well, it was all, we were just having fun, talking, doing our thing, listening to music, all that. It started off to be fun. He gave me chocolates that day. I do remember that. They were delicious. They were like the chocolate with the peanuts in them and the little heart shaped. It was really cute. Anyways, so we were just talking, listening to music, when all of a sudden Greg passes out. Now when I say passes out, it wasn't like, oh, he was feeling sick or something and he was saying he was feeling sick and he stood up and fell down because he was too dizzy or something. I mean, we were laying on the couch minding our own business and Greg just passes out. I mean, he just his head just dozes off and he is completely asleep. Now I'm trying to wake Greg up at this point because still I'm just okay, what the hell is going on? Was he really that sleepy? He didn't say he was sleepy. What is going on? So I'm trying to push him. I'm pushing him. I'm Greg, get up. And he's just not budging. So at this point, again, I'm worried. But I'm okay, he's playing, I'm still kind of thinking, oh, he's funny. So I go to the bathroom and I come back and he is still passed out. What is weird about this passing out that I am beginning to notice as I'm getting out of the bathroom is that and the bathroom's in the hall. So we were in the living room. Okay, we were in the living room and then the bathroom's this way. This will be relevant to the story later on. So I get out of the bathroom and I go and I look at him and I look this way. So he's on the couch on this side and I look and he almost looks lifeless. So it's not like somebody's sleeping. It almost looks like he's paralyzed. So again, I proceed to try to push him. But at this point, I'm kind of contemplating, okay, something's wrong. Now, I don't want to wake up his mom or anything at this point because I'm kind of scared and then still kind of oh yeah, he's kidding. So I just sit on the couch and I'm just waiting. I'm okay, maybe he's just really tired. So about this point, it probably was about 15 minutes in, Greg finally decides to wake up. And when he wakes up, oh, sorry guys, it's gross. So when Greg wakes up, okay, his head was down. So when he wakes up, he slowly, you guys are gonna think I'm freaking insane or like lying, but I swear to goodness, this like really, really did happen, okay? Like, I promise you. So Greg's head slowly is like moving. I mean, slowly. This is his head, my hand. Great head, right? So his head is slowly, slowly creeping up. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, Greg, are you okay? And he's not saying anything. So then at this point, I'm over here, okay? So yeah, I'm over here and Greg's over here. And I'm like, Greg, like, what's the matter? And he slowly starts tilting his head. And when his eyes finally reach mine, I realize, I kid you not, like, I swear to God, oh my God, it gives me chills. Like, ugh, I hate it. It really freaks me out. His whole eyes, okay? So we have our eyes, right? So all of this was in the back of his head, and all you see is white. I mean, white. There were some, like, veins in it, but it was just, like, white. I have never seen anything like that. Now, I know some people can do it, like, slightly, where it's like you see the pupils a little bit. They can control their movement that way. I cannot. But the issue with that is they were literally, like, the whole thing was white. I didn't see these at all. Usually you still see, like, a little bits and pieces of it. No, it was completely. And they were, like, red and veiny. And this lasted. So he starts staring at me. All right, so he's staring at me into this. And he's just staring, like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And at this point, I'm like, stop, you're just kidding. And I'm bawling. I am bawling and I am shaking. Like, I am so petrified. And he is not budging. And at this point, he starts making noises. Now, I cannot explain to you what these noises were, what they sounded like, or anything, but they were some scary freaking, like a growl, but it wasn't like a growl, okay? But it was like a growl, but it wasn't like a normal growl. I don't know, like, it really freaks me out. Like, legit freaks me out. Still to this day, I don't like it. Anyways, so he's looking at me and he's like growling, but not growling. And all of a sudden, he passes out again. And I am like, I mean, what just happened? And at this point, I am like legit scared. So at this point, I text my mom and I am like, hey, can you come and pick me up? She's like, okay, it's gonna take like 30 minutes. So at this point, I decide, okay, he's passed out. I'm gonna go in the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom again and I am hiding. Okay. And he is like passed out. His mom worked really late, so I didn't really think about waking her up, and it was just like, I don't know why I didn't. I probably should have. That's some scary stuff. Maybe I would have a witness or something, because everyone thinks I'm crazy. But so then I finally, I want to say it's like 15 minutes later, my mom texted me saying she was on the way. I knew she wasn't here yet, but I was just hiding in the bathroom for a little bit, and I hear like a noise. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's up and he's out. You know, maybe he's like, haha, laughing. So I get out of the room and it happens again. Like, I kid you not. But this time he's moving with it. So before, he moved a little bit, like he moved his head and he moved his neck, but he stayed in the same position. He stayed on the couch. But this time I was walking and he proceeded to grab my shirt. It was down here, actually. It wasn't like right in here. So he grabbed the shirt as I'm like walking past, because I'm like, okay, you know, he's fine now. He grabs it and his eyes are still in the back of his head at this point, just FYI. So he grabs my shirt and he starts screaming. Screaming. I am so surprised that woman could sleep, I guess, because seriously, it was like the loudest screams I've ever heard. It was insane. He was screaming and he was growling and he was telling me, get out. And like, but in a different voice. It wasn't his voice. Like, that's what's so eerie. Like, I can talk like this. oh, I can talk like this. But like, don't you guys love my interpretations? How to make some light in this like freaky story time. But it wasn't like a normal, like, you can fake a voice, like, in my opinion. It was like it was just a scary, scary voice. So at this point, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta run and get out of there. Like, no, 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 no. So I start running and he passes out again. I'm like, okay, well, he passes out. Well, he actually looks kind of sick at this, like, he doesn't look paralyzed anymore. At this point when he passed out, like I was saying, he looked paralyzed at the other 2 times that he did. But this time he looks just like a normal sleeper, almost really peaceful. Whereas before it wasn't like a peaceful looking thing. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So my mom texted me and she's like, okay, I'm almost there. So I'm about to walk out of the house. And he wakes up and he is completely 100% normal. And he's like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm like shivering, like, you know, like, like, I'm like making sure like it's really him and not like the other thing. And I'm like, I'm going home, like, you really scared me. And he's like, what do you mean I really scared you? Legit knew nothing about it. Nothing. In fact, when I told him what happened, he started shaking because he was so freaked out. And just, it will be an experience I never ever forget. What I can say is, that's the end of that story. I just walked out. It never happened again. At least that situation. There were some weird things that would happen, but nothing that ever compared to that story time. And he was like never the same afterward. Like, it was really weird. He was like literally never the same. And it wasn't like he did anything crazy. He didn't like go crazy on himself, but he was just like, his demeanor, his personality, it just was not the same. And we broke up probably like 3 months after that. And truthfully, since then, I've never had too much of paranormal experiences. It was just when I was with him. So I don't know if you guys are like paranormal experts. Leave it in the comments below what that could be, what that is, why he was saying get out, any of that. If you have any like advice or anything like to kind of like ease my mind, or if you don't believe it and are like, oh, he's probably just tricking you, which again, I have tried to rationalize that. I'm 25 now. It happened when I was 14, 15 years old, and 10 years later, it still gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I still just don't understand how someone could fake the scream and the eyes and just, I just don't get it. So if you guys have any things, like if you guys are ghost experts or know like what was inside, leave it in the comments below and let me know. And that's all for my story time. If you guys would like more videos on what type of occurrences would happen when I was with him, then let me know in the comments below and I will do those. And I love you guys so much, and thanks for watching. Please like, rate, and subscribe. Bye.